That was very good. Thank you, Sensei.
Thank
I
you.
do have a couple questions in the chat. One is from Parani Spansel. She says, both yoga and meditation have a common practice of focus regulated deep breathing. They seem to be intertwined. Besides sitting still in meditation and body movement in yoga, what are the other differences between these two practices?
There's no differences between these practices because that's a good point. Thanks for that question, because I think as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, there's always this, we hear a lot of people saying, oh, there's no meditation practice in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. However, if you expand the definition of what meditation is, then you'll see that, yes, there is meditation in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, because meditation, according to Indian practices, encompasses everything from chanting. So if you chant the Jusei Ge, that's meditation because you're focused on religion. On the practice of listening to the Dharma or chanting the Dharma, and you're using your vibrations in chanting to merge with everything around you and the universe here. Walking, if you walk silently in nature without any ear pods or looking at your phone, that's meditation. If you concentrate on breathing. So in my classes, I do a lot of pranayama or breathing techniques to actually focus, get ready to just not think about all this stuff in the world. So actually, Buddhism, meditation, yoga, it's all one practice. It's just how you look at it, right? I think the thing about the genius of Patanjali in particular is that, and not only him, but it's the people, it's the masters from thousands of years ago, they discovered it's impossible to stop your thoughts coming into your mind, coming in all the time like this. But it is possible to control your breathing, how you breathe. And your breathing affects how you think, your health. It affects, all of your hormones, everything. So the thing is that breathing, meditation, it's all connected. And I believe that in our Jodo Shinshu tradition, chanting, even if you don't know what the words mean when you're chanting, it's a powerful feeling of calmness, relaxation, stress relief. And then if you're doing it live in person at the temple, you feel everybody else's vibrations and energy by chanting. I work at the Jodo Shinshu Center, and in the morning, Reverend Kuwahara and myself, we will, only two people here early in the morning, we chant the Jusei Ge, just the two of us. Man, after that, I feel great. That's a whole practice right there. So that way of looking at chanting as meditation, or staring at the onaijin, or just smelling, the incense, or listening to the sounds of the minister listening to the Dharma, that's all one. So anyway, thank you for that question. Hopefully that maybe I've answered it or not. I don't know.
And then, Sensei, I think you touched on this during your talk, that in the United States, we kind of equate yoga practice for people that are extremely flexible and put their leg behind their neck or their head. And also, these people tend to chase poses. And I've read that once they achieve the pose, they tend to drop out of yoga. Could you talk a little bit about what we might call other power yoga, where you kind of relax and your body kind of pours into the pose, and you let the practice kind of come to you by not trying and not working so hard?
I think you said it perfectly just now. So no, that's a great way to put it, because the thing is that when you focus on achieving something for yourself, just for yourself, then once you either achieve it or you don't. And if that's the purpose for why you're doing it, then you get easily, you know, lose interest. Now, I say this, put on my Kendo teacher hat and say that's the same thing with Kendo. These young people, they go there and they'll go there and they'll win tournaments. They're super fast. They're really athletic. They win trophies. They get all, and then they get older and they they can't win tournaments anymore. They can't, do these things that they wanted to do physically, and they drop out like 99.9%. As soon as they can't win in tournaments, get promotions or this or that. But if, according like Yamaoka Teshu says, no, that Kendo should be about universal oneness. He says it should not be about, he wouldn't let his students compete or do matches with people trying to, how to say it in English, do kind of like a match with them to see how good they were, even live matches, because the whole point is to to get away from yourself. And the matches really is not about defeating the other person. It's about learning from yourself. So there's a saying, he long time ago, it's utarete arigatai, utte hansei, right? So it means thank you. If you beat me, I've learned a lesson from you. I'm humbled by you. And then if I ever beat you, I have compassion and I know how you feel. So it's a mutual exchange for both of us to learn from each other, rather than saying, oh, I defeated you, And that's the same thing what you were saying about the yoga asanas. Like, oh yeah, look at me. I could put my leg behind if you go to a yoga studio, there's always, there's some people who are hyper flexible and they can do all these fancy poses and they're very proud of it. And I think it's beautiful. There are people who can really do some beautiful poses. But if that's the focus, then you'll lose interest. I mean, it is a way of life and a mindset. I have people who are in their 20s, and I have actually my oldest student who was 103. She just passed away 2 weeks ago. And that to me, she was a yoga master.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't do anything fancy. She just was there for this universal oneness, the Sangha. She was there for the Sangha, and she was there as somebody who was always smiling and very warm and welcoming. So she, to me, is a yoga master, So
Yeah, I had a friend that surfs a lot. He's my age in Huntington Beach, and he told me there was a 40-year-old that used to surf with him, and he was the quickest, strongest surfer on the beach, and he could catch any wave he wanted, and he won competitions. But as he got into his mid 40s and his late 40s, his knees started to go, and he just couldn't pop up like he used to, and he never surfed again. He quit surfing at 48, and my friend looked at me and said, that guy never really was a surfer. He wasn't doing it to be one with the ocean. He was doing it to win things and impress people. And I've always remembered that.
that's
So I have
exactly the same thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I have another question from Reverend Ellen Crane. She asks, going forward, how will yoga and Shin Buddhism complement each other as a way to reach new people interested in either or both?
Well, thanks, Reverend Crane. I would say that's up to you. You practice both. so I really, think it's something that my hat's off to Reverend John, to OCBC, to Linda, and because it's a way of really each temple is different. I went around the country doing these seminars, and there's no two temples that are the same, and everybody has a different way of engaging with their members, their sangha, right? So the one common denominator thing is people like to be together, the sangha. And I think nothing is more apparent of this togetherness and oneness than, well, like this weekend's OCBC Obon. If you look around, I mean, I don't know if you have social media, but I mean, you look at social Facebook or Instagram, all the temples have their Obon festival, and it's really inspiring. Everybody's happy dancing together. There's this idea of oneness here, right? And joy. And if that could be captured in yoga and Buddhism, that would be an excellent way to do it. I mean, it's really great to see everybody dancing in Obon and actually all over the country, and so it's really inspiring. And again, it's maybe a fantasy, but it would be nice to have something like that for yoga, to have it spread like that.
One thing I have noticed, though, through my wife's practice is a lot of the yoga studios, the attendance hasn't really come back since COVID. And I thought it was because of COVID, but she has a theory it might be due to pickleball. Pickleball is so popular now that it may be draining some people, and yoga would be excellent for pickleball to stay limber and warm. But I have noticed that phenomenon a little bit. Another question we got was, what are some of the basic practices of yoga that might help with meditation and concentration?
Well, that's again at what we do that in my classes. You're welcome to join, but follow the Patanjali's 8 limbs, and it's doing. I think everybody here, I mean, they live a moral, ethical kind of lifestyle here, but we do movement, asanas. So the asanas we do are for any age and any physical condition. So it's I work as a yoga therapist. I worked at San Francisco General Hospital, working with patients, working with staff, working community members. A lot of people who came out of surgery or operations, knee replacement, hip replacement, people who've had who are doing chemo or MS or these different things. That movement, gentle movements, whether it's yoga, whether it's walking, whether it's swimming, whether it's, well, I don't want to say pickleball. I have a lot of people who do pickleball and get injured.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, movement helps with as kind of a first step to pranayama or breathing exercise. You have to prepare the body for breathing. Pranayama is such a deep, vast practice that you have to prepare your body to breathe. And it sounds funny to say that. And the people who are taking my pranayama classes are super athletes and this and that, but they all say to me, I didn't realize about my breathing. Because the normal breathing pattern for most people, we're breathing 15 to 18 times a minute. And we're only taking in about 10% of oxygen capacity of our lungs. So in pranayama, we're taking a full breath. So, I mean, the estimate is between normal breathing, 600 to 800, 600 cc's of oxygen per inhale and exhale, just normal chest breathing. But once we activate the diaphragm, expand the stomach, then we're actually taking in about 4,500 cc's of oxygen, which means more oxygen to your brain, to your body and elimination of more CO2 out of your body. And then you're helping with all of the organs in your body. So that, all of that, these practices, and then we have cleansing techniques. I don't know if people here do the neti pot, and things like that. Help so that now you are preparing yourself for meditation. So it's hard to just jump right into meditation. I talked to a lot of the meditation people around the US here. They say people sit there and they said they have a hard time. A lot of people have a hard time saying, but you have to, like Shakyamuni Buddha, you have to prepare your body for meditation, right. Movement and breathing. Yeah.
So that diaphragm breathing is what we use as ministers when we chant.
Absolutely.
We inhale deeply with our diaphragm. And then for me, I started out with silent sitting meditation, but I really like the feeling from chanting because you have to be so focused on the next character and the pitch and the tempo. And when I come out of a chant, I feel like my mind has been cleansed. I feel really different.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know what you mean. When I chant with Reverend Kuwahara, I feel great. It's like,
yeah.
And by the way, 10 minutes of breathing practices, the diaphragm, deep breathing like that, is equivalent to 40 minutes of asana or doing 40 minutes of asana in terms of calming the mind, stress, the brain, everything. So,
Bob, I was wondering if you could comment a little bit on how there are so many different types of yoga in the United States. And how do you, it seems a little overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, no, so that's a great question. And I'm only relaying, I'm not doing an opinion or expressing my opinion or anything, but in India, there's only one style of yoga, and that's Hatha yoga. And so what's happened, even in India, but in America too, all of these different styles, they take different practices out of Hatha yoga, and then they label it and say, well, this is going to be yin yoga, or this is going to be Kundalini yoga, or this is going to be Bikram, or all these different things. And so my view is whatever makes you, feel good, in terms of loosen up your body, and you have keeping in the mind that you're focusing on not yourself, but for others. Well, how can I make myself healthy to serve other people? Really, that's what yoga is. It's, serving others, and you have to be healthy to do it. So yoga is definitely, they found over the years that yes, you're focusing on the supreme or the universal oneness, but in the process of doing this, you're able to improve your health. And so it's impossible for everybody to go to India and practice, but it is possible to, whatever style you're practicing, to think, how can I serve others?
So there's another question about breathing. They were wondering, is deep breathing for 10 minutes a day, yoga style, equal to jogging 10 minutes outdoors?
Well, so that's kind of like a Western way of thinking. We're saying, is it this for that? Is it this for this? Is it, but you're talking about apples and oranges, because deep breathing is to relax the mind, to get into the rest and relaxation, the parasympathetic nervous system, so to speak. Jogging actually stresses the body. You're raising the heart rate, you're raising the blood pressure. So cardio, yeah, is good, but then there is two different things. You need, so you don't need to jog. You could walk. Just the walking is good. But again, that's two different things. One is relaxing de-stressing the body. The other one is stressing the body.
Right. Very good. So I was able to find your website and I posted it in the chat.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So that our guests can pursue that if they'd like.
Oh, yeah. Here again, everyone is welcome to contact me anytime or join any of the classes. And
I think we have you scheduled at OCBC again. Lila would know, but January or February of next year. So Robert really gets around the country, and he takes his practice on the road and teaches in person, which is really, really helpful. And I've said before too, practicing yoga really helped me understand Buddhism better. So I really began to appreciate Buddhism from the experience of yoga. It was really valuable.
Yes.
Another question is do you have any classes available on Zoom?
They're all on Zoom.
Okay, then the answer is yes. Good.
Yeah. So, I mean, look at my website. It gives a schedule, how to get the links and everything. The only in-person things I do left now is when I go to these workshops and seminars at the different temples. I'll be down in San Diego in Vista next month. If you're down at San Diego Buddhist Temple, please come. And then, I'll be in Vista the next day after that. And by the way, everyone is invited September 26th to the 28th at the Northern District 7 Temples sponsored yoga seminar weekend at the Hard Rock Casino Resort. It is actually there because we needed a space that it could accommodate the 7 temples. So feel free to come to that one as well.
Well, we want to thank you very much, Bob. This has been really quite enlightening. Pun intended.
No, thank you.
Pun intended. We really appreciate it. And I think there is a really strong overlap between these Eastern traditions. I think yoga brings out the fact more so that this is a practice, it's a process, it's an activity that you do as opposed to something that you achieve, and it's not belief-based. There's no set of beliefs you have to have. And so I think it's quite different. I think Buddhism and yoga are quite different from the way we think of religion in the United States. So I really appreciate you, emphasizing and leaning into that message. I think it's very helpful.
No, thank you, John.
Thank
Reverend
you.
John. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to share our final slide. I want to thank Robert for being part of this. We really appreciate it. But we were lucky to get another big get. Dr. Aaron Prophet is part of the Jodo Shinshu tradition. He's a minister's assistant. He has his PhD in Buddhist studies. Our next live event will be August 22nd at 2 p.m. Pacific time. And he's going to be teaching back to the basics, Mahayana Buddhism as a living Buddhism. And he gave me this little blurb for the description. He says, Mahayana Buddhism is widely known for its philosophical depth and diversity. What is less widely known is how Mahayana Buddhism functions in the lives of people in family and community today. In this dialogue, Aaron Prophet will discuss the history of Mahayana Buddhism, as well as the ways that this vibrant Buddhist tradition comes to life as wisdom and compassion in our everyday lives, which is actually our brand at Everyday Buddhism. So this will be really quite good coming up in August. So I hope you can join us for that. Again, thank you to Robert Matsueda. Very, very well done. And I hope we can invite him back for an encore one day. It was really excellent. Thank you. If we could close in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Naman Butsu. Naman Butsu.